Hello, welcome to tip 30 out of 100 from Aletha Solter's Raising Drug-Free Kids. I'm T, your joyful parent guide and harmonizer. And so yesterday's tip number 29 was don't pressure your child to read. And today we are into tip 30, which is, I'm drawing a little bit of, I'm drawing a blank on tip 30. It's let your child make decisions. That's right. I have no notes for this one because I love this one. I'm so aligned with Aletha on this tip. She says, and I totally agree, we need to help our child make good decisions, let them make decisions so that they can feel the natural consequences of bad decisions. Now, this chapter is on children 3 to 6. This goes for 6 to 9, 9 to 12, 12 to 15, 15 to 18. It's just that the decisions change, and there's a whole lot about that I won't get into, but I want to hone in on this phrase of natural consequences. And if you're here live, say hello. And if you are watching the replay, it's hashtag ease, E-A-S-E, hashtag ease. Natural consequences. A lot of people think that they can tell a kid what a consequence is. If you don't do this, then this is what's going to happen to you in the house. This is what's allowed, so this is what's going to happen. And that's a natural consequence. That's not a natural consequence. We don't have to set up natural consequences. The natural consequence of a child making an impulsive purchase at the dollar store or at the toy store is that they don't get much use out of the thing that they bought because it was an impulse buy and they played with it twice and now they hate it and they don't care if it gets thrown away. That's the natural consequence. We don't have to do anything. Natural consequence to going outside without a coat is you're cold. Now, if your kid is 3 to 6, you're going to take the coat with you without shaming them or anything. And then if they say they're cold, you could say, oh, I have your coat. Would you like it? And they will take it. But if they're like, no, I don't want to wear a coat when we're going outside, and you try to push it, you could get into this kind of a thing. And then we get hooked. But if you let them make a decision, and then you can bring it along, maybe next time they'll be like, oh yeah, maybe I will take that coat. Okay, so there's something else in here though that I thought was really, really excellent. Oh yes, here we go. Making choices. This is so good. Decisions could be about things like money, things like clothing, other choices too. You're going to have a birthday party for your 4-year-old. Well, maybe let her decide who are a few extra people to invite. What else? You're going to spend an afternoon with your child. Maybe let her decide which park to go to. Maybe let him decide, I don't know, which beach he wants to go to in the summer, whatever it is. But I will just tell you, here's something that I remember. Now, I was a lot older than 3 to 6, but I remember this was related to vacations when I was an adolescent. And we were not able to, like my parents, I don't know how they did as much with us as they did with the resources that they had. They were amazing with that. But one thing that we did not have the resources for until I was much older was like a decadent, indulgent trip to Disney World. And by the time we did that, I was 14. And I remember thinking to myself, this is pretty cool, but wow, like, I'm sure it would be magical if I was this age or this age, but I'm 14. You know. And so now I can look back at that and I can very clearly see, like, I appreciated it and I had a load of fun. That was the first time I was ever on an airplane. It was amazing. But now I can see that that wasn't my need. That was like my mom had a need to be able to say that she maybe went to Disney World, maybe took her children to Disney World, whatever that was. But that was her need. So let's be clear about when we are meeting our needs and when we are meeting our children's needs. I live near Sesame Place. Okay, people travel from all over the country to come to Sesame Place, and it always like really mystifies me how people are in the freezing cold or the sweltering July heat with these little babies, and they're suffering through these long lines, and the kids are hungry and they're hot or they're cold or they're tired. Like, how much fun is that? I don't understand, as long as we're clear about whose needs we're meeting. But if we want to give our kids an opportunity to make decisions, then we can offer them choices that we're okay with. Could be around occasion, maybe not at 3, or maybe we give them 2 choices we're okay with when they're 3 or 4 or 5. But one other distinction that she says here is the choice, the choice between whining or going to time out is actually not a real choice, because what you're really basically saying to your child is, you need to obey me or you're going to get punished. So if you whine and you disobey me, you're getting, this is not going to be a pleasant thing. So that is not what we're talking about in terms of decisions. We're talking about 2 actual legitimate choices. So yeah, the idea for Aletha, this ties into, if kids can learn to make real decisions and learn about the consequences of bad decisions, then, not only are they going to learn to be a good decision maker, but they might be more resilient and good at decisions when it comes to bigger things later on, like drugs, alcohol, sex, you name your thing, right? So with that, I will say, wow, we are on 30, going to 31 tomorrow.